I wanted to start myself with an excerpt from this beautiful book, Love Letters to the Earth. For those of you, Lynn and Leandro, who were at the retreat of the Sublime Mother Gaia, you heard this already. But I'm just so inspired by Thich Nhat Hanh's words that I wanted to share it with you all as well. Oh, excuse me, and Jan, who was also at that retreat. When we feel that we're fragile, not stable or solid, we can come back to ourselves and take refuge in the earth. With each step, we can feel her solidity beneath our feet. When we're truly in touch with the earth, we can feel her supportive embrace and her stability. We use all our body and our mind to go back to the earth and surrender ourselves to her. With each breath, we release all our agitation, our fragility, and our suffering. Just being aware of her benevolent presence can already bring relief. On the verge of the Buddha's enlightenment, he touched the earth with his hand and asked her to bear witness to his awakening. Flowers sprang up in celebration at the very place where his hand touched the ground. At that moment, the Buddha's mind became so free and so clear that he saw millions of flowers everywhere, smiling at him. We can be like the Buddha, and in difficult moments, touch the earth as our witness. We can take refuge in the earth as our original mother. We can say, I touch the pure, refreshing earth. Whatever nationality or culture we belong to, whatever religion we follow, whether we're Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, or Jew, or atheist, we can all see that Mother Earth is a great bodhisattva. When we see her in this way, with all her many virtues, we will walk more gently on her and treat her and all her children more gently. We will want to protect her and not harm her or any of the myriad forms of life she has given birth to. We will resolve the question of what we mistakenly call the environmental problem. The earth is not just the environment. The earth is us. Everything depends on whether we have this insight or not. When you're able to see the earth for the bodhisattva that she is, you will want to bow down and touch the earth with reverence and respect. Then love and care will be born in your heart. This awakening is enlightenment. Don't look for enlightenment elsewhere. This awakening, this enlightenment will bring about a great transformation in you. And you'll have more happiness, more love, and more understanding than from any other practice. Enlightenment, liberation, peace, and joy aren't dreams for the future. They're a reality available to us in the present moment. We can't wait any longer to restore our relationship with the earth because right now the earth and everyone on earth is in danger. When a society is overcome by greed and pride, there is violence and unnecessary devastation. When we perpetrate violence toward our own and other species, we're being violent toward ourselves at the same time. When we know how to protect all beings, we will be protecting ourselves. A spiritual revolution is needed if we're going to confront the environmental challenges that face us. Real change will happen only when we fall in love with our planet. Our only love can show us how to live in harmony with nature and with each other, and save us from the devastating effects of environmental destruction and climate change. When we recognize the virtues and talents of the earth, we feel connected to her, and love is born in our hearts. We want to be connected. That is the meaning of love, to be at one. When you love someone, you want to take care of that person as you would take care of yourself. When we love like this, it's reciprocal. We will do anything for the benefit of the earth, and we can trust that she, in turn, will do everything in her power for our well-being. Every morning when I wake up and get dressed, I leave my hut and take a walk. Usually the sky is still dark and I walk gently, aware of nature all around me and the fading stars. One time after walking, I came back to my hut and wrote this sentence: I am in love with Mother Earth. I was excited as excited as a young man who has fallen in love. My heart was beating with excitement. When I think of the earth and my ability to walk on it, I think, I'm going to go out into nature, enjoying everything beautiful, enjoying all its wonders. My heart is filled with joy. The earth gives me so much. I'm so in love with her. It's a wonderful love. There's no betrayal. We entrust our heart to the earth, and she entrusts herself to us with her whole being. So thank you for listening. I love Thich Nhat Hanh. I love the earth in that same way. And I was so grateful to him to have written this beautiful book, because there aren't so many Buddhist teachers who have brought forward this relationship to the earth as a great teacher in our times. But to me, she is, as you all know. So we just finished this Mother Gaia retreat, and the word that came to me this morning as I was kind of preparing to see you today was Gaiaocracy. the embodiment of interbeing as a form of governance. I don't know where we might want to take that, but I think it might be something to explore over time. Because the opportunity here is to come back to our own natural state, which Gaia reveals to us, and to pay attention to the guidance that comes from her. When we began the retreat of the Mother Gaia, one person in our group shared that there was very strong thunder that was happening, and it was just as we were beginning to really invoke the presence of Mother Gaia and bringing the rain, which had been very needed. And again, at the end of that retreat, interestingly, another woman, both of whom were in England, reported that the same thing happened. She went outside and there was thunder and there was lightning and there was a downpour. And this morning, when I sat down to collect my thoughts for being with you today, it was thundering. And so I just feel like the voice of the earth is not just, singing or speaking softly, but really thundering now, as I'm sure you agree. I heard Terry Tempest Williams speak at Upaya Zen Center here in Santa Fe recently, and she said so many beautiful things, but she talked about being inhabited by the myriad things. And it's that interbeing that I hope we practice here to embody, to come into relationship with the myriad things, the sense of interbeing. And the more and more we love, the more and more we stand for life, cultivate our connection, to be together, to embody and enact the vow of the Bodhisattva, the one who cares for all beings, not just ourselves. That's the thing that puts us on the path of awakening. That caring, that love, that commitment to serve life. And so for the sake of this beautiful blue-green planet we call home, I want to invite us to become free radicals. And embody the awe that we feel when we connect with the earth with joy and wonder. Thich Nhat Hanh used to say that to stop was a radical act, which indeed it is. To stop all that stuff that keeps us just going around and around and around and around, not really getting anywhere, right? And the first thing we do to stop is to slow down. It might have been Terry Tempest Williams who was saying, to grow the herbs. I can't remember where I heard this, but, grow the herbs, gather them at the right time, dry them, make the tinctures and the salves, sew our robes, or some of us might be joining me in sewing banners. One of our Sangha members is doing this gathering in Washington, D.C., the Gathering for Interbeing, and we're all making banners to hang in the trees. And I've been so enjoying sewing by hand, cooking a pot of something delicious that takes all day, slowing down to live more fully in the present moment, in Gaia's time. There's the Dogon elder who I write about in my book that I met when I went to Mali in Africa with the first treasure vase for Africa. I asked him about the urgency that I felt in bringing healing and protection to the earth with the earth treasure vases. And he said, urgency. We don't really have that here in this very traditional indigenous culture that he was from. Bayo Akomolafe says, times are urgent. We must slow down. Because from that place of urgency, when we're caught up in it, we're not going to make the right decisions or act in a way that is trustworthy. Thich Nhat Hanh moved like a turtle in the airport when he's on his way to a flight. Everybody rushes because we're all like, and Thich Nhat Hanh would be doing walking meditation, breathing in and breathing out, walking at the pace of a turtle. And if you know anything about Thich Nhat Hanh, you know how much he got done in his life. Massive numbers of books that he wrote, incredible talks, world travels, Dharma centers, all the things that arose in the wake of his walking at that pace. And yet, actually, I wanted to add one other thing is Thich Nhat Hanh said once, to write good poetry, I have to grow cabbages. So we can't just throw out the poems, right? We have to cultivate the place where the poems come from, which takes time. And yet, I think especially today, we also need to be like Green Tara, who is ready to step into action in any moment. She has one foot coming off her lotus seat because she's ready to respond to whatever is happening. And I feel this is the invitation of our times, to live in such a way that we're ready to stand up for life. And to be ready, the practice of mindfulness is really helpful. The practice of mindfulness that we're doing here has its roots in what we call shamatha, which means calm abiding. And so it's from this experience of using the breath as our anchor for our mind, our busy mind that keeps us agitated and caught up. We come back to our breath to settle everything into the present moment, and to find in that settling, that calming that the breath facilitates, we find our stability, we find our seat, we find our ground, that place that we can come back to recover when we need to. And in so doing, the mind naturally becomes clear. We don't have to work at it or effort it. We just have to do the practice of coming back to our breath over and over again, and settling into this place of calm abiding, where the body then just naturally relaxes, which it will do when the breath is helping us in that way. And as we relax our mind, our body, find the anchor of our own breath, naturally the clarity and the insight can arise without effort. So we naturally, we might sit down and be all like, "Argh," and then gradually through the practice, everything settles and we start to see more clearly. We see what is without all that jumble. And that's called vipassana. So step 1 is calm abiding. Step 2, that naturally comes from that, is this insight. And in the face of all of these disruptive changes and instability in our world, we need to practice to stabilize and calm ourselves so that we can see clearly and act from a place of deep knowing. What is what I'm about to do or say contributing to more chaos and disruption, or am I contributing to more peace and calm and healing? Our reactivity is a sure sign we need to stop. Our unconscious reactive emotions keep us going around and around in that cycle. Our fear immobilizes us. We're living in a state of collective trauma, actually. It's not PTSD, it's ongoing, not post-traumatic stress disorder, but an ongoing stress disorder that is affecting all of us. I mean, all we have to do is listen to the news or pay attention to what's happening with the wars and the devastation that's going on. This gentleman named Christian Bethelson, who is a former rebel general from Liberia that I've worked with for over a decade, has dealt with a lot of very high-level PTSD from the war. And the practice of mindfulness that he learned from me and then from Thich Nhat Hanh directly at Plum Village, it maybe not totally, but almost completely has healed him. And he still gets triggered, but he recognizes the triggers and he can calm himself. And the key is the breathing, to come back to what is happening in this present moment. Just this present moment. Not back then, not up there ahead of us, but right now. And the practice is over and over and over again to return. We also take refuge in the three jewels to facilitate this same kind of thing, to have a refuge that provides a shelter, a safe space to practice transforming those reactive patterns in ourselves and unskillful ways of being that perpetuate harm. And in this Sangha, we consider the three jewels as an embodiment of the teacher, the Buddha, the teachings, the Dharma, and the community, the Sangha, which are so present in the web of life, in Gaia, in this earth, this whole earth as a living being that we are part of. One of the, I hope it's okay, I sort of forgot to check the time when I began, but if it's all right, I'm just going to keep going a little bit longer. Yeah? One of the aspects of our human nature that is so important to transform if we want to really be of benefit is our attachment to a sense of self. That I, me, mine, that everything revolves around. It keeps us in this kind of limited view and experience of our lives. And when we are so caught up in that self-referencing and self-importance, we miss the moment. We miss so many of the signs and omens that Gaia offers us. So it's important to look deeply at our own condition. And that too is what the Dharma practice is all about. Looking deeply, which is another word for the practice of vipassana, actually. Looking deeply. So we calm ourselves, we settle ourselves, we find our stability, and then we have the capacity to look deeply. And when we look deeply at this self nature, we might go, well, what is this anyway? Where is it? Where is the self? What is the self? And when if we inquire into the true nature of self, we may find nothing, actually. Like, where is that? What is that? Well, if we look deeply, like Thich Nhat Hanh pointed out, this is because that is. I am here because you are there. In fact, I'm actually empty of a separate self, a separately existing self. And the practice of meditation can really bring this home to us. It can awaken this understanding when we let everything settle and all those, ways in which we're caught get relaxed. And we can open up to include the myriad things. This is being empty of a separate self, where we become aware of the oneness with all that is. Now, looking deeply is this vipassana, And this practice is a training to develop this insight, this knowing, this clarity, this wisdom. And once we're stable, we have the capacity to invite this insight into things that we have trouble with, that we need to transform. And so the invitation is to practice concentration, with diligence, with discipline, to really apply ourselves, if we're serious, in order to become really stable and really transform those limited views and attachment. Because this is where we perpetuate the suffering, and we want to transform suffering. So I bow down to Mother Gaia. She shows us that everything is connected. She reveals that the vast view is beyond the capacity of our conceptual mind to grasp. Meditation is not about thinking. It's about releasing the habit of going there all the time and relaxing with each breath, coming back. To something so much larger than me. Opening to that. So Mother Gaia is thundering. She's asking us to wake up. She's asking us to awaken to the web of life, interdependent sense of interbeing that we're each a part of, and take our place in the family of things. We can ask ourselves, when we're stable, what is it that's getting in the way of that experience of oneness? And that's where the work of our practice lies. Having the courage to face the habits and the patterns that keep us going around and around in this cycle of existence that only results in more suffering. And I know I'm repeating myself, but this is the path. This is the purpose of the path, is to transform suffering, to heal, and to not cause more. So if we can do this for ourselves with the support of the community, the Sangha, we know that it's rippling out into the rest of life, creating a whole field of awakening that may support others as well. So when it gets difficult to do what we know we need to do to stop, and also to stand up as free radicals, it's helpful to know we have each other's back. And I'll just end with my beloved teacher, Gyaltsen Rinpoche, who would always say, slowly, slowly, step by step, we shall arrive. Yeah, times are urgent, but we have to slow down. It happens slowly, slowly, step by step. Breathing, returning, resting, stabilizing, like a mountain unshakable. Returning over and over until we know that we've arrived. And then we can say, what is this? And then instead of trying to figure it out, just let it reveal. Let it come. And looking deeply, breathing, not thinking, we can invite that clarity to arise naturally, all on its own. And the awakened nature will be revealed for the benefit of all beings, because that is our vow. That is our That is what put us on this path, the path of awakening, the path of transformation and healing. Well, thank you. So let's go into the practice. And I'll ring the bell to begin and end, and then we'll do a little walking and come back to our cushions and sit again. Now come back to your breath, come back to your seat. Let all of that just settle. And come back, as Thich Nhat Hanh would say, to your true self with the sound of the bell.
Gentle Winds by Cynthia West. The seeing that reaches beyond form is in our small eyes, so we can know the house we inhabit is larger than the stars. Petals are doorways into flowers that never fade. Gentle winds unravel the knots we've built to protect our hearts. No need to regret. Doors rusted shut from mistakes. Water cleans harm too quietly to be thanked. Grape clusters hang heavy, calling our prayers to eat their fill so they can fly, spreading friendship. Clouds leave footsteps on lakes for us to follow. Walking the fluid skin, we are sunlit water. We are bells, pears and roses, ringing with late summer.
Practicing the way of awareness gives rise to benefits without limit. We vow to offer tribute to parents, teachers, friends, and numerous beings who give guidance and support along the path. We do not cling in any way to the virtue and goodness we have generated. In order that all beings may benefit from it, we dedicate it in the realm of totality. This virtue and all virtue gathered in the three times, we dedicate as all Buddhas do, to supreme, non-residing awakening. May we attain the state of union in this life.